From Wood TV, this is 24-Hour News 8, continuing coverage of Decision 2016.
Hi again, everybody. I'm Brian Sterling.
And I'm Marley Ginter. We are continuing to keep a close eye on the polls with about 35 minutes until the polls close.
We continue team coverage tonight with 24-Hour News 8's Ken Kolker and Sarah Hurwitz. We'll start with Ken at the polls in Cascade Township.
Now we're at the Cascade Township Library, where it's actually slowed down to a bit of a trickle here, but there's still people coming in with about a half hour left. Now, the township clerk tells us that so far as of 7:15 tonight, 81% of the people in Cascade Township had turned out to vote. Now the record here is 84% back in 2008. He still thinks there's a chance they could actually break that. Now we've checked elsewhere. Now we talked with the Ottawa County clerk, who said the record there is 77%. Also in 2008, and he reported that they could come close to breaking that as well. Now the lines earlier this morning here at Cascade Township actually were an hour and a half long. Now that has slowed down considerably, as it has in other locations. Now, as I said, there's about a half hour left, and we're expecting this to come close to a record turnout, at least in some locations. Back to you.
All right, Ken Kolker reporting live for us in Cascade Township. Thanks for that, Ken.
Now we want to get to Kalamazoo. 24-Hour News 8's Sarah Hurwitz is monitoring polling lines there. Sarah?
Well, things are definitely trickling down here. We're roughly about 30 minutes away from the polls closing, and there's no line here at this point. These are two of the busiest precincts in Kalamazoo, but we still have seen some people trickling in here. I'll take a step out so you can see. Here's the breakdown of some of the numbers so far. These two precincts, 21 and 24, they're reporting about 50%, and they've seen about 25 to 50 voters an hour, with roughly 1,300 voters combined. As for the county, I did just get off the phone with the county clerk. He doesn't have an actual number of voter turnout at this point, but he does say that it seems to be on track to hit numbers that were similar to the 2012 election, and that's roughly 120,000 voters. Reporting now live in Kalamazoo, Sarah Hurwitz, 24-Hour News 8.
Okay, thank you, Sarah. Both political parties are hosting statewide events to watch those results come in.
Yeah, those events are taking place on the east side of the state, and 24-Hour News 8's Leon Hendricks is live with the Michigan Democrats in Detroit at the MGM Grand.
We want to start with Evan Dean, though, in Waterford at the Michigan GOP event. Evan?
And Marley, Brian, good evening. Now, contrary to what the Dems are doing, the Michigan Republican Party hosting a smaller gathering. If you take a look, though, things are starting to pick up. A large crowd starting to gather. We're inside Heroes Barbecue here in Waterford. It's a restaurant here on the east side of the state. And we are expecting some of the big players in the Republican Party here. We're expecting Attorney General Bill Schuette maybe as early as 8 o'clock. That's when the party kicks off. And we are expecting the chair of the GOP party, Ronna Romney McDaniel. She's expected here about 9 o'clock. We'll be here when they come in, and I can tell you what, all the T's fixated on the results coming in. We'll be keeping an eye on them right here as well. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Evan. Now let's go to Leon Hendricks.
Yeah, again, Leon is live at the MGM Grand with the Michigan Dems. Leon?
Good evening. Lots of attention here in Detroit on Michigan and what happens here. There are reporters here from the BBC, from Fox News, all wondering what's going to happen with the electoral votes coming out of Michigan. The polls here close in short order. Turnout here in the county in which we stand, Wayne County, was a concern leading into this. Now remember, 4 years ago, the Democrats took this state with 10%. They're hoping to do that again here tonight. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Leon. Let's bring in now political reporter Rick Alvin.
All right, so Rick, what do these turnout numbers mean for the presidential race?
Well, the numbers and those big turnouts in some areas could have a mixed effect because it depends on where the turnout is. We're going to go to our temperature map and start seeing what that looks like in some of our coming up on some of our other cut-ins, but I want you to see what's going on nationally first. If you take a look at what's already come in, no surprise, Indiana and Kentucky are going for Donald Trump. Vermont, the home of Bernie Sanders, going to go for Hillary Clinton. No surprise, very early on, and it's really not predictive of anything. But let me tell you what's going to be happening in the next few minutes. North Carolina and Ohio. If those states come in the same color, no matter what color, Now we start to see some things. So let's keep a close eye on those. By the time we get back here in half an hour, we should know what they look like.
Okay, those polls close at 7:30?
Yeah, they close in 20 seconds.
Okay.
And it looks like to me that when they get closed, we're going to start seeing some projections pretty early on, particularly out of Ohio. North Carolina may be a little longer. But I got to tell you right now in Florida, some of the projections I'm seeing very tight.
All right. Thank you, Rick.
We do want to remind you that we do have the polls closing in just a few minutes. If you're in line when the polls close, you can still vote. We'll keep updating you.